Okay, so hello everyone. I feel like it's been about 6 months since I made a video. This is nothing new because I think the last video I made, I had a 6-month gap in between when I made a video, but what better way to re-ingratiate myself into YouTube than by doing a tag video that I feel like everyone and their brother has done. And this is the first time tag. I don't know exactly where I got this, but I copied and pasted it into my phone. So I guess we should just start it off now. What was your first tweet? I know there's that website where you can get the archives of your tweets. I am obviously not prepared for this. It was something along the lines of, hello, this is my first tweet. It was back in March 2012, I think. Which actually isn't that long ago. I acted like that's so long ago. What was your first YouTube video? On this channel, I think it was a Storm of Swords review, but I used to make YouTube videos. I mean, I guess I still kind of do. I just haven't in a while. Used to make YouTube videos, well, used to make videos for my Tumblr and would upload them to YouTube because they were too long. So there were those videos that I made. I don't remember what my first one was though. I think it was a how to blog video. Not being serious, making fun of blogging, but yeah, I think that was my first YouTube video just in general, but on this channel, the Storm of Swords review. Who was the first person you subscribed to on YouTube? I don't remember way back when, back in 2007 when YouTube first started. Well, I mean, when I first started watching YouTube videos. But back in 2009 or 2010 or so, when I started watching BookTube videos, I feel like that's the area that when I started watching YouTube videos religiously, that's the area of people that I started watching first. And I think it was Laura, Beauty Isn't Skin Deep. She's changed her username a few times. I think it's now Boundless Bindings. But I believe she was the first person I subscribed to. What was your first Facebook profile pic? Funny story about that. I've never actually had a Facebook. It just got to the point because I was big into MySpace. I was a MySpace layout maker and all of that with 20,000 friends, so I thought I was on top of the world. But when MySpace kind of died out in popularity my freshman year of high school, and freshman year is when everyone started slowly transitioning to Facebook, and I just never did. And once it came around the time that I thought, oh, Michael, you should probably make a Facebook, that's when everyone stopped using it. So now it's kind of pointless. So never had a Facebook. Do you still talk to your first love? I'm going to sound bitter, but I've never really been in love, so this question doesn't really count. What was your first alcoholic drink? My first alcoholic drink that I got drunk off of was Smirnoff Ice wine coolers. For shame, for shame. I thought I was 17. I thought that I was the coolest person ever because I was drinking Smirnoff Ice in the corner at a little party / get together, and I drunk 4 or 5 in the span of 5 minutes, and that didn't end well at all. What was your first job? I've had my first hourly job with a company was Express. I started working there about a year ago, and I'm still there. I'm wearing Express right now. But other than that, my first place where I would go and make money was at this apple orchard. It was right next to my house, and I was in fourth and fifth grade. Well, I worked there starting in 4th grade and worked there until I believe 8th grade. and I would make like $4 an hour, so that kind of counts as a job, but not really. Express is my first, like, was my first, like, job. What was your first car? It was a Ford Taurus that my dad leased for himself, but he had a work car, so it was basically mine to drive to and from school. But I mean, I thought that I was hot shit because I had a like 2008 Ford Taurus during my junior year of high school. Who was the first person to text you today? It was my best friend Jackie, talking about how stupid the university I go to is. Who's the first person you thought of this morning? No comment on that one. Let's not make this a depressing video. Who was your first grade teacher? Her name was Mrs. Fowler. First grade was a tough time for me. I basically cried for my mother the entire, like, every single day. Like, we took class, I'm going off on a tangent, but we took class pictures, like, for Mother's Day, we each took, like, individual, like, self-portraits and made them into a, like, framed art project, like, for our moms, and I was even crying in that picture. Like, I cried every single day. I was such a little bitch. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? I believe it was Nashville. I was, I believe, 9 years old, and we were going for, my dad had a conference for work, and he just, like, brought all of us with him, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, my younger brother, who was, like, 5 at the time, cried the entire time because he thought that it was going to blow up or something, but yeah, nothing too exciting. Who is your best friend, and do you still talk? My best friend since 2nd grade is Jackie, who I mentioned a couple minutes ago. We don't live in, it's one of those, like, best friendships where I see her maybe like 3 times a year. Well, no, maybe it's like more like 6 or 7 times a year, but you know, it doesn't really matter because we've been best friends forever. Best friends forever. Where was your first sleepover? My very first recollection of a sleepover was at my house, and it was with my cousin, so, I mean, it doesn't really even count, but, I mean, I slept over at other friends' house, like, through elementary school and stuff, but we're talking, like, very, very first sleepover that I remember. It was with my cousin, and she was sleeping over, and I was all excited, like, oh, yay, sleepover. And she calls her mom, i.e. my aunt, to pick her up in the middle of the night. So I wake up and she's gone. So I was like, wow, sleepover ruined. This sucks. What was the first thing you did this morning? I woke up later than I was supposed to. So the first thing I did was went straight to my computer and finished the assignment that I had to do for my management class that was due this morning. What was the first concert you ever went to? Britney Spears. What was your first broken bone? I've never broken a, like, major bone, but this is so weird, but my pinky toe on my left foot, I'm, like, looking at it longingly right now. My pinky toe on my left foot has taken quite a beating. It's been broken and or sprained about 4 times. I think it might even still be broken. It's just never healed. But I would always, like, hit it on, like, the sides of coffee tables or, like, stub it on, like, the corner of a wall when I was growing up. I don't know what it was about my left foot pinky toe, but I've seriously broken it like 4 times. What was your first piercing? I don't have anything pierced. What was the first foreign country you've been to? I mean, I guess Canada. I mean, does Canada even count? Other than that, France, when I was a senior in high school. What was the first movie you remember seeing? I feel like it was one of the Disney movies. They all kind of just like blurred together, but I remember being traumatized by Fox and the Hound. Like, I feel like every other kid that was born in the early 90s has been traumatized by that horrible film. I mean, it's a great film, but it is traumatizing for young children. That's the one movie that I remember watching because it just scarred me emotionally. I swear to God, I need to do a like behind the scenes video, because every single time that I'm like halfway through filming, my memory card gives out. Seems like I would learn by now, like just empty out all your selfies off the memory card, but I will never learn. When was your first detention? I've never actually had a detention, because I'm just a super student. But no, I did have one lunch detention once when I was in band, which I feel like every great story starts with that tagline. So because I was being loud and interrupting or something, my band teacher gave me lunch detention, which is basically where you would stay after lunch and clean tables while everyone else went out to recess, which is recess at my school was literally walking into the parking lot and standing there and like talking in a group for like 15 minutes and then going inside. It made absolutely no sense. But I mean, my life is so pathetic. But from doing that, like, I would try to get detention in 8th grade so I could stay inside and just clean tables, because I didn't want to go outside because it was winter when I got this detention, because I did not want to go out into the snow and the freezing cold for 15 minutes. So I would like volunteer to clean tables. My life is so pathetic. Who was your first roommate? My first roommate was actually Jackie. I feel like she's like the theme of this video. After high school, we moved out to college together, and we lived with one other person. So yeah, she was my first roommate. What was the first sport you were involved in? As far back as I can remember, it was t-ball when I was, I believe, 4 or 5, and probably the only reason why I agreed to do that was because my dad was one of the coaches. But I don't actually remember playing t-ball. The only thing that I remember was, you know when you take the like team picture and everyone's in a like line, like everyone's like lined up, and the coaches usually stand in the back. Well, I was up in the front, and I couldn't find my dad because I was too short to look at the people behind me to see that my dad was in the back row with all the coaches. So I started crying. Again, I feel like me crying is another theme of this video, but I digress. So the only proof I have that I was involved in a sport is me crying in the front row of my t-ball picture. Again, my life is absolutely pathetic. What is the first thing you do when you get home? I don't take my shoes off. When was your first kiss? My first kiss ever was in 4th grade, so what, probably like 9 or 10 years old, and then obviously my first like passionate kiss came after that. Okay, so that seems to be the end of my first times tag. I feel like these tags are always so long, like half of you have probably already clicked off the video because you're like, this dude needs to stop talking. But if you were still here, thank you for watching. I can't promise more videos, but I have been thinking about almost every day. I think about how I need to start making videos again, because especially my reading videos, because I have been reading a little bit more lately because I've been a little less busy, so expect some book reviews maybe coming up soon. But until then, I will see you guys later.